Good morning and welcome to this edition of DMS 3000 News Live. It is episode 47 on this Tuesday, August 22nd, 2023. And I am your host and moderator for this show today, Jason DeCanio. Today on our program, we've got lots of good stuff going on and a very special interview that just came in last minute. But, you know, anything can happen here on the show, and we invite everybody and anybody at any given time to come on and do an interview to promote whatever they'd like to talk about, because this show is always open to specific things, and we like that when a specific person comes on, because then we don't have to worry about events that we don't have to cover later on in the program. So with that in mind today, let's take a look at what we have for you on this edition of DMS 3000 News Live, episode 47. 121st anniversary of Cadillac. Yes, folks, the Cadillac, the luxury car that you have driven for the last 100-some years, now turns 121 years old and is doing fantastic. We're going to look at the history of the Cadillac, where it, how it blossomed into the luxury car that it was. Who is it really named after? Does anybody know that? Well, we'll give you the answer to that in just a little bit, okay? And then on the program also, too, we have an essay on leadership. Yes, if you're the kind of person that basically likes to take the lead, if you're the person that was born a leader or knows about leadership and how to lead a group of people together with everybody else, then this essay is for you. And even if you don't have leadership skills, you might want to be able to gain them on this particular essay that we're going to be looking at. And good morning, Game Show fan. And we also have a special interview with our CEO today, David St. Dennis, who will be with us at the 9 o'clock hour to talk about anything and everything that has to do with the David 3000 Network. This is his time to basically shine and give you all of the great stuff. I will be interviewing him like he did me the last time on the program. So with all of that, we can't wait to have our CEO talk about the state of the David 3000 Network. Plus, of course, we also have What Day is Today? Interview with CEO Super Dave. What is he doing? He's changing it all. Oh, my God. That's what he can do. Yep. What day is today? Plus, headlines, sports, and other important informations. And when we have time, he might give us an editorial if we keep him on the show long enough, folks. That's all that's going to be on today. So, with that in mind, let's go to headlines, sports, and other information. Let's look at our comments today. Yes, good morning, Game Show fan. Hope you are doing well. Oh, yeah, and our CEO is going to be chatting in and out with everybody today, so he's laughing and having a good time. All right, good for you. All right, guys, let's go to the headlines here and bore you to heck with some NPR stuff, as you know, and get on with today's show. Episode 47 starts right now. To expand abortion access in Texas, a lawmaker gets creative. Starting September 1st, limited abortion care will be legal in Texas in 2 pregnancy circumstances. Getting that through the conservative Texas legislature required masterful and discreet lawmaking. Yes, sure did. Let me put my ad blocker on, because I know this is one of those things where ad blockers, they just completely dominate the entire thing here. Donald Trump says he will go to Atlanta Thursday to be booked on Georgia charges. Former President Donald Trump faces 13 felony counts in Georgia related to efforts to overturn the state's 2020 election result. Satellite images capture the extent of flooding in California after the storm, and Southern California communities deal with the aftermath of flash floods and mudslides brought on by Tropical Storm Hillary. See some of the areas that were hit. And the first tropical storm to hit Southern California in more than 80 years sparked road closures, school cancellations, and power outages on Sunday evening before moving north to Nevada. Tropical Storm Hillary moves on from California, leaving a trail of damage and debris. Big Brother Below Deck show reality TV improves by handling scandals publicly. A contestant uttered the N-word, and in response, he was ejected publicly at first. In Maui, 850 people are still unaccounted for. The list of unaccounted for once contained more than 22,000 names, Maui County Mayor Richard Besson said. A salmonella outbreak is being linked to pet turtles. Half of the people infected in the outbreak reported having contact with turtle with shells smaller than 4 inches wide. Owning pet turtles of that size is prohibited by federal law. Republicans' focus on Milwaukee shows Wisconsin will be a crucial state again in 2024, as the Republican Party is shifting its attention to Milwaukee, a city that will host both the first GOP primary debate on Wednesday and the party's nominating convention next summer. In its first ad of the 2024 cycle, Planned Parenthood pins GOP candidates on abortion. And as Republicans take the debate stage in Milwaukee, Planned Parenthood is launching ads on social media and streaming services quoting their positions on abortion. Pfizer's RSV vaccine to protect babies gets green light from FDA. The Food and Drug Administration has approved the first vaccine for expectant mothers to shield their babies from RSV. Charles Martinet, the voice of Nintendo's beloved Mario character, is stepping down. Yes, Nintendo of America confirmed that Charles Martinet will now serve in the role of Mario Ambassador, traveling around the world to promote the beloved plumber and perform Nintendo character voices. Spain's Olga Carmona learned her father had died after she won the Women's World Cup. Yesterday was the best and the worst day of my life, wrote Carmona, who scored the only goal in Spain's historic win over England. Monster hunters are conducting the largest search of Loch Ness in more than 50 years. And there have been more than 1,000 official sightings of the Loch Ness Monster, the Loch Ness Center says. Nessie enthusiasts are deploying new tools this weekend to try and prove it's real. Japan to release treated water from Fukushima nuclear plant later this week. Prime Minister Fumio Kishida made the announcement after meeting with his cabinet. Water will be released through an underground tunnel beginning Thursday, weather conditions permitting, Kishida said. Ex-Prime Minister Thaksin returns from exile, further roiling Thai politics. Thaksin's Shinawtra's return coincides with a vote in Parliament Tuesday on the formation of a new government. His Pheu Thai party looks set to head. The Venus flytrap is off the U.S. endangered list with a stable wild populations in the Carolinas. Venus flytrap grows in longleaf pine wetlands in the coastal plain and sand hills of southeastern North Carolina and northeastern South Carolina. It remains threatened under North Carolina law, making it a felony to poach them. Unearthing couples, the natural world with the meaning of family. Kyle McClear presents a unique take on the paternity mystery memoir, one that eschews a predetermined narrative arc for a wide-ranging exploration of what it means to be a family. And finally, when the world's your stage, can an album capture the feeling? New albums by Jon Batiste and Louis Cato arrive with high expectations, both as their experience led the band at Stephen Colbert's The Late Show has proved are stellar live performances. And there you have it, friends. What is going on here with the banners? That is a look at the headlines for today. Let's take a look at the sports. I'm just going to briefly go through the scores and the standings today. Really, because every time I look at the stories, there really isn't nothing intriguing for me. But I will tell you this: if you tune into the Dugout Crew this Thursday at 3 o'clock for another great scintillating episode with the gang from the latest of the week's news at MLB. All right, let's take a look at the scores and the standings. That's what we're here for, to give you a brief look at that. It was the Cubs shocking the Tigers. The Cubs are doing something really impressive today, winning 7-6 over the Tigers. They go to 65-59. They are still a little bit down in the standings, but the wild card looks very, very tempting right now for these guys. The Cubs still have a chance to even take the division if they keep winning the ways. They win 7-6 over the Tigers. It was the Phillies 10, the Giants 4. Phillies still trying to make a dent in the standings in the NL East, as the Giants are trying to make a standing in the NL West with the Dodgers. Right now, though, the Phillies have the upper hand. They win the game 10-4. Pirates upset the Cardinals. It's like a bottom of the cellar dweller matchup. The Pirates win 11-1. Cardinals look like they didn't even show up for the game last night. Mets, surprisingly, oh my God, they could win 60 games by tonight. They go to 59-67. They beat the Braves a whopping 10-4, making the Braves look like something that came out of a can of coffee. Oh my God, really? A can of coffee with something else. I'll have something more to say about that on Brian Snowman at 11. So we'll be talking a little bit more about baseball in just about 3 hours from now. Braves go to 80-44. So that puts the Mets about 22 games back? Yeah, but they're only about 7 games out of the wild card. We'll take a look at the standings in just a little bit here. The Astros, well, they are the defending champions, as you know, and they beat the Red Sox 9-4 last today. And the Red Sox are trying to stay out of the cellar with the Yankees, but I think they have a good cushion on the Yankees right now. What they're trying to do is get to the division lead here, and they've got a long way to go to get there, at least 9 or 10 games. We'll look at the standings. But the Astros take game 1 of that first game against the Red Sox 9-4. It was the Mariners over the White Sox 14-2. The White Sox look like they just hung up their laundry and said, we're going home right now. Yep, 14-2. Mariners take that first game. They go to 70-55, the Mariners, and have a chance to go into the division against the Rangers. Looks pretty interesting, but we'll see what happens. The Athletics upset the Royals. Joey, your team looks like they might have a chance to take some games away from the Royals and catch up to them. The Athletics win that first game of the series 6-4 in a battle of who's got the worst record. Well, right now the Athletics do at 35-90, but the Royals at 40-87 are proving that they want to stay away from the bottom of the barrel. But they lose the game last night. The Athletics looked like they were the better team. We're going to talk about that. Come up in Snowman in the morning with Cole Johnson at 11 o'clock. D-backs over the Rangers 4-3. The D-backs trying to hold on to what they've got in the NL West, which is not much. But they upset the Rangers, which is a very important thing, because right now they could play spoiler and try to help themselves get into that realm with the Dodgers. The Rangers, unfortunately, still have the lead in the division. We'll look at that standings in just a little bit. Finally, the Padres over the Marlins. No, there's one more game, actually. Padres beat the Marlins 6-2, go to 60-66 on the year. The Padres look like they're just trying to play catch up with everybody else. The Marlins have the same idea. And like I said, with the Braves losing, the Phillies and the Marlins are just a little bit behind by about maybe 11 games. So it's still anybody's thing. Oh, and there was a wet grounds game yesterday, the Reds and the Angels. The makeup will be August 23rd, which will be tomorrow. Pitchers will be announced. The Reds at 64-61 and the LA Angels at 61-64. So that game will be made up tomorrow as part of, I guess, a doubleheader. But they start, like, their series starts, I think, tonight anyways. So wet grounds game. Boy, and it's raining in Southern California. Yes, it is. All right, let's look at those very important standings, because this is where we take all the scores, we divvy them up, and we put them into the standings now. Here we go. Baltimore, 30 games over 500, 77-47, 3-game winning streak. Total domination. Still going strong. They go up against the Blue Jays tonight. Tampa Bay, 75-51, 3 games back, 4.5 above everybody else in the wild card. They've got the wild card so far. by 4.5. And they start the series with the Colorado Rockies in Tampa Bay. Toronto Blue Jays, 69-56, 8.5 back. 1 game back in the wild card. 2-game winning streak. Right now, remember, they're playing Baltimore. They start that series tonight. Okay, so we'll see what happens. Very important game for Baltimore. They've got to win because Toronto could take some games away from them if they get a hot streak. Boston, 66-59, 11.5 back, but 4 back in the wild card. 1-game losing streak. They play Houston again tonight. Yankees, 60-64, 17 games back, 9.5 back in the wild card. Losers of 8 straight, and they start their series tonight against the Washington Nationals in Washington. I'm sorry, in New York, actually. So that's a very important game, too, because the Washington Nationals are trying to get out of the cellar dweller, as they say. The AL Central, the AL Comedy Central, as they call it, like we all call it the NL Central, the Comedy Central. Minnesota, 65-60. 1-game winning streak. Now has to play Milwaukee tonight at Milwaukee. Very important game for Minnesota and very important game for Milwaukee, as we will see later. The Guardians, Cleveland, 59-66. 6 games back, 11 back in the wild card. Start the game series with the Dodgers in Cleveland. Detroit, 57-68. 8 games back, 13 back in the wild card. Starts the game versus series with the Chicago Cubs. But remember, again, Chicago won that game yesterday. That's why they're on the losing streak. Same with the White Sox, 49-76, 16 games back, 21 back in the wild card. And remember, the Mariners took that first game yesterday, so they play again tonight. Kansas City, 40-87, losers of 3, 26 games back, 31 back in the wild card. Up against Oakland, and Oakland takes game 1 of that 3-game set. Now for the AL West, the important things here. Texas, 72-53, losers of 5 straight. Start that series with the Arizona Diamondbacks. And Arizona, well, like I said, Arizona kicked butt last night. Put some pressure on the Texas Rangers as the Houston Astros climbing up 71-55, 1.5 back. Now, 0.5 ahead of everybody in the wild card. And they are up against Boston, which Houston took that first game yesterday. But here's the shockers. Seattle, 2 games back at 70-55. Winners of 7 straight. Right now, they're playing the Chicago White Sox. They took game 1 yesterday. LA Angels, 61-64, 11 games back, 9 back in the wild card. Losers of 1, now playing Cincinnati. And remember, there was a wet grounds game, so they got to make it up on the doubleheader tomorrow. Oakland, 35-90. 37 back in the division, 35 back in the wild card. Winners of 1, playing KC right now. They took game 1 yesterday. It's a battle of the sewers. Who's going to be staying there? All right, now we go to the NL. Very important here. The Braves, 80-44, slipping a little bit. Losers of 2, playing against the Mets. The Mets took that first game yesterday, 10-4. Philly, 68-57, 12.5 back, 3 up on the wild card, playing San Francisco. Very important series for Philly. Miami, 64-62, 17 games back, 1.5 back in the wild card. Losers of 3, they're playing San Diego at San Diego. The Mets could win their 60th game tonight if they take 2 out of 3 from the Braves. They're at 59-67, 22 games back, but only 6.5 now back in the wild card. And like I said, they got a chance to maybe do, if they get hot, September is the month that they need to start going in there. And we go into September with 1 more week. Washington, 57-68, 23.5 back, 8 back in the wild card. They start that series with the Yankees tonight. The NL Comedy Central, Milwaukee Brewers, 68-57, winners of 3 straight, start that series with the Minnesota Twins. It's going to be very interesting to see what they're going to do. The Cubs, this is the shocker right here, folks. The Cubs, ahead of the Reds, 65-59, 2.5 back, 0.5 ahead of everybody in the wild card. They have the top spot for the wild card, folks. Winners of 3 straight, playing against the Tigers. And once again, they showed everybody that they are for real. Cincinnati Reds, 64-61, 4 games back, 1 back in the wild card. Losers of 2, playing the LA Angels. Pittsburgh, 56-69, 12 back, 9 back in the wild card, playing St. Louis, which right now is below Pittsburgh, 55-71, 13.5, 10.5 back. And, well, you know the deal here. This is a matter of who's staying on the bottom of the NL Central, give or take. Now, the NL West. And, folks, this is where I really am just perplexed right now, because this is where it comes right down to it. This is where it comes right down to it. The NL West. Dodgers, 76-47. They've got it right now. They're cruising. Winners of 2. Playing the Cleveland Guardians at Cleveland. San Francisco, though, making a run. 65-60, 12 back. But they lost. But they're playing Philly. Maybe they can get a chance to see what's going to happen here. But Arizona's coming back with a 3-game winning streak. 65-61, 12.5 back. 0.5, a half game back in the wild card. Winners of 3, starting with the Texas Rangers. And like I said, Texas is struggling in their division too, thanks to Arizona's wonderful play. San Diego Padres, 60-66, 17.5 back, 5.5 back in the wild card against Miami. And the Rockies, 48-76, 28.5 back, 16.5 back in the wild card. Losers of 1. They start that series at Tampa Bay tonight. And there you have it, folks. Baseball scores and standings. All you need to know. And, of course, I and David St. Dennis will be on Brian Snowman in the morning with Cole Johnson at 11 o'clock today to talk more baseball, coming up later on at the 11 o'clock hour. All right? Oh, and what's we have here in the private chat? Oh, very good. Oh, very good. Nice. So we've got a new commercial block. I don't know if he only did a minute 38. Okay. Well, that's all right. Okay. Well, we're going to take a break anyways because we have to. Not because we want to, but we have to. When we come back, we're going to look at what day is today. Give you all that great stuff. Maybe there's a juicy little treat for you to make on your special day of the holiday. We'll be right back right after this.
Fire!
Hi, I'm Dennis Eckersley, and it's time to play What the Heck? I'm asking real Bostonians to try and explain the meaning of my baseball phrases. Now, here we go. What does easy cheese mean?
When a pitcher forgets to put his socks on.
Easy money.
Oh, easy cheese is the extra topping you put on a Fenway Frank.
Nachos? I don't know.
Where's Boston's best place for great tickets at the lowest price?
That one's easy. That's Ace Ticket.
Ace Ticket.
Ace Ticket. It's a beautiful thing.
This is Brad. He's using Roadrunner high-speed online to play along with Game Show Network's lingo on GSN.com. He got it for just $34.95 a month for 6 months. Brad hasn't left his room since. When Brad signed up for Roadrunner, he was entered to win a 51-inch Sony high-def TV. And they're trying to deliver it now.
Hey, Brad, open the door.
Sign up for Roadrunner today. You'll save money and have a chance to win one of these great Sony prizes from Game Show Network.
You've seen the shows, now feel the music. Introducing the classic TV game show theme CD. 20 theme songs. 50 years of game show history. One compilation that's guaranteed to make your collection a grand prize winner. The classic TV game show theme CD. Now available at Sam Goody and Musicland. Pick one up today and keep the game show vibe alive.
All right, welcome back to DMS 3000 News Live. It's episode 47 on this August 22nd, 2023, and I see why he wanted me to play that first lineup of commercials. Oh, my goodness. Talk about a GSN commercial block. Wow. All right, folks. He is the CEO. He cut my commercials like he went like that. There you go. All right. We have what day is today? And we have an interesting one. Do you know about National Bao Day? You know, BAO, that wonderful little treat. It's a day to savor the deliciousness of the famed dumpling. Yes. It's also a day dedicated to learn more about the bao, also known as baozi or hot Asian buns, and the culture that surrounds them. Do you know that baos come in a variety of tastes and fillings such as pork, veggies, sweet custard, chocolate, Chinese sausage, and more? Yes. Well, the bao or baozi is a kind of dumpling that originated in China. It is safe to say that baozi evolved from the word mantou, which was used as an all-inclusive expression for buns. The beginning of mantou are largely tied to the military leader Zhu Liang, who is believed to have invented the buns. Bao later became the word used for filled buns, while mantou remained the word for unfilled buns. So bao takes root in Asia first, then spreads to other regions of the globe. And since 2003, when Wow Bao established their first restaurant in Chicago, baozi has grown in prominence in the United States. Since then, bao has captivated a large number of people. It has a wide range of filling options, making it appealing to a wide range of people. And Wow Bao has over 200 locations across the United States. They provide both physical and virtual services, allowing them to reach a wider audience. Wow Bao, by the way, was the one who started National Bao Day. And people have turned to the holiday as a reason to satisfy their appetites for the delectable bao. The rich Chinese tradition behind the popular dumpling is celebrated on National Bao Day. And we test out the many different fillings available with a sense of excitement and discovery. Even if we only ate different bao tastes and fillings, it's unlikely that we've never become bored. Even vegetarians who prefer not to consume meat can also enjoy the variety of fillings. Same when it comes to bao, you have a plethora of healthful options. So, 400 BC, the evolution of bao dates back to this time period. Starts there. 100 AD, the term baozi becomes the main expression for filled buns. In 2003, the first Wow Bao restaurant opens in Chicago, making the bao a popular food. And 2017, National Bao Day is instituted, and it pushes for a holiday to celebrate the popularity of bao, and National Bao Day is established. So it started over 6 years ago and has been on this day ever since. You're going to do activities today, visit your favorite restaurant. So go to your local restaurant and enjoy one or two, or maybe 3 different flavors of bao. Make your own. Yeah, invite your friends over and watch the tutorials on the internet. Then make your own bao and as many dumplings as you can. And there's always the possibility of discovering new joys along the route. Learn more about other cultures. Yes. Here's 5 fun facts about bao. With bao, there is a wide range of flavors and fillings. It's more than a snack because they are so nutritious. Baozis are eaten as a whole meal. And there's a vegan choice. It's easy to get and make your own vegan-themed bao. And these dumplings are carefully made. It's a matter of honor to be able to make a good bao. Yeah. Wow Bao made bao popular. That's right. Wow Bao has more than 200 restaurants across the United States. And why we love National Bao Day? Well, bao is fun to make. Trying to create your own bao is an adventure, but it's also a lot of fun and satisfying. There's also different types of fillings. We won't mind 3 different baos for the day. With different fillings each time, there's always the appetite. And enjoy a good time. On National Bao Day, we can have a good time with our families and also go to a restaurant and enjoy the holiday. There you have it, friends. National Bao Day in all of its glory. Whew, what a way to go. And that is what is the day today. And I can't figure out any other day that I would want to think of. Let's see. Pecan tort. I like pecan pie. So, That's about it for today. But National Bow Day takes the cake, folks. And that is a look at what his day is today. All right. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and I'm going to skip the 121st anniversary of the Cadillac and do the commentary on an essay on leadership today. We'll look at the Cadillac next time. There's always room for cars and everything else in that line of thing here, because coming up at 9:00 will be our own David St. Dennis, who will be talking about anything and everything on his mind, and about, of course, the David 3000 network. So that's going to be a big interview coming up in the next hour. And don't forget to also look at me and Brian and David and Cole Johnson, all coming up at the 11:00 hour to talk about baseball. Now, the essay on leadership. As you know, and I'm going to turn my ad blocker on for this. This essay comes to us from javapoint.com, and I don't think there is an author. Okay, but here we go. The role of leadership is one of the most critical aspects of management because it assists individuals or businesses in increasing efficiency and attaining objectives. Leadership can mean different things to diverse writers. In general, leadership is defined as the art of influencing other people to ensure that they work willingly and enthusiastically towards the attainment of goals for the group or the organization. The term leadership refers to the act of influencing the actions of formal or informal group members in the process of goal setting and accomplishment. A leader is someone whose magnetic personality draws individuals for a purpose. In today's highly competitive environment, leadership abilities are essential to personal and professional growth. Good leadership skills are required by people at the professional, personal, and social levels. Personal leadership allows us to identify our strengths, desires, and talents. It is about knowing what we would like to achieve in life, understanding what success looks like for us, what our priorities are, and how we can achieve the goals we set no matter the opinions of others, what they believe, say, or do. Personal leadership allows us to improve our lives and helps us to shape our future. Effective leadership is crucial in running a company. In most organizations, management is more focused on the ability to make decisions, and they believe that a quick and intelligent decision will aid in the company's success. They do not realize that the implementation of these decisions is just as crucial as taking those decisions. If the implementation isn't done correctly, there won't be any outcomes. As the saying goes, it's easier said than done. In the same way, making a choice does not change anything. Rather, figuring out how you can accomplish the task efficiently and effectively will assist the organization in reaching its goals. Leadership is vital in implementing decisions in a timely and efficient manner. Here are some different styles. There's the democratic leadership. Subordinates play a role in the decision-making process in this kind of leadership. This type of leadership is focused on the contributions of subordinates, but the ultimate responsibility for their actions and decisions is on the shoulders of the leader. It is regarded as one of the most popular ways of leading. There's also transformational leadership. And this kind of leadership focuses on influencing the performance of others by inspiring them. A leader who is transformational inspires others by setting goals and encouraging them to improve their productivity. Team management. The leader of a team involves everyone in the project, and the leader inspires his team members to put in the effort while simultaneously striving to meet the established goals and develop their professional skills. Strategic leadership is the kind of leadership of style that is characterized by a leader who is the head of the company but doesn't have the same views as the top management. He's a part of the entire team at every level and he is an intermediary between the desire to explore new possibilities and being realistic. You also have the coaching leadership, the convenient management, leadership in cross-cultural context, and all the others. Here's what makes qualities of a good leader. Vision. Perhaps the most valuable quality that a leader has is vision. Being able to perceive the larger image of where the company or team is heading, as well as what is capable of and what will be required to achieve the goals. Inspiration, as crucial as having a clear vision, is the capacity to communicate the vision to others and inspire them to be excited about it. This is about maintaining a positive but real-world presence in the company, keeping team members focused and enthusiastic, and making them remember the purpose they're working towards. And a successful leader can consider the entire organization or team they're working with and develop a clear awareness of its strengths, potentials, weaknesses, and dangers, and how they can assist or overcome these. They'll be able to course correct as needed and be able to assess their work to figure out how it fits into the overall strategy and goals of the organization. Leaders who are successful are able to communicate with others in a manner that is authentic. It doesn't mean that you need to be outgoing or a social butterfly. There are many exceptional leaders who are self-described as introverts. Instead, it's about your ability to show compassion, engage in active listening, and establish meaningful relationships with your colleagues and subordinates. And one of the best methods to a successful leader is to become self-aware enough to know your strengths and weaknesses, and then develop an authentic style of leadership that's exactly who you are and how you perform your best job. You'd be like the most effective person to lead and try not to conform to the mold set by others, but be aware of the aspects that define you as what you are, which will eventually result in your developing an authentic leadership style. And a leader is someone who is open to new ideas, perspectives, and possibilities. Leadership requires the willingness to make changes and bring new perspectives to the table. Leaders should be able to listen, observe, and be open to changing course when needed. Creativity is also an essential quality, as it enables a person to find novel solutions to problems. Following the same path again and again can lead to monotony and the state of being stuck in the loop. Creativity helps in looking at the problem from fresh perspectives and developing solutions accordingly. And leadership is also about being flexible and agile when necessary. You will encounter unexpected roadblocks and large obstacles. If you're faced with them, be ready to stop, reassess, or take on a new path. Rigidity is on the part of leaders that can cause frustration in the entire team and demotivate the employees. Leaders who are open to change and adapt to the business environment will inspire others to do the same. We'll be right back with more on the essay of leadership right after this.
Fire!
It's not easy getting so much rich chocolate into a Three Musketeers bar. Fortunately, it's a lot easier to get all that incredible tasting chocolate out of it.
Come on along, I'll take you to the lullaby of Broadway. The hickory and ballyhoo.
The lullaby of Broadway.
And in the center of it all
is the Milford Plaza.
Stay at the Milford Plaza Hotel with cocktail dinner and breakfast for $49.50 per person. Discover why we are the lullaby of Broadway.
The Milford Plaza is the lullaby of all Broadway.
MTA interviews 30-second mix, take one.
Take the train.
Why have over 1 million people taken the JFK Express?
Because it's faster than taking a taxi.
Because it's very fast, clean, and safe.
And that's the only way to fly.
It's safe.
Oh, I work for United Airlines, and it's quicker than the bus.
So we're taking the train to the plane to save money.
This
spend in Paris?
Take the train to the plane.
Take the train to the plane.
The JFK Express, only $4, including shuttle bus. Call 858-7272.
Train to the plane.
I'm Murray Linder. On bagels, I'm an expert. People I'll never understand. I tell them a delicious Linder's bagel has more complex carbohydrates than a lot of cereals people call healthy. 20% more. Well, who wouldn't take a toasty, chewy Linder's bagel over what's in a cereal bowl? But some people still think bowl healthy. Look, if you still think good stuff has to come in a bowl, here you go. Linder's Bagels. Who knew they were this good?
New family members mean new responsibilities and new needs for life and health insurance protection. Why not drop in on your MetLife representative to help you figure out what's right for you and your family? Get Met. It pays.
Benny, the chicken. Throw him the chicken! The chicken, Benny! Please, Benny! The chicken! Throw him the chicken!
But it's Roy Rogers' chicken.
It's chicken month at Roy's. And now get a 2-piece dinner, medium fries, a 15-ounce drink, just $2.99.
I hate machines. Sorry, Rosie.
Why don't we go to the new Sprint store at Radio Shack, George? They have Sprint's easy-to-use products.
And the know-how of Radio Shack.
They even showed Astro how to use his mobile phone.
They could even help you, Mr. J.
Astro has a mobile phone? Well, oh, Rhonda.
The new Sprint store at Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
Hello, I'm Joe DeCandia, the owner of Lenny's Columbine Restaurant. I would like to welcome you to Lenny's. We serve you the finest Italian seafood like calamari, baked clams, lobster tail served with shrimps, mussels, and linguine. Our delicious pasta dishes are a mouth-watering treat, and an Italian specialty are unforgettable. Visit one of Lenny's nearest you and enjoy a glass of wine in the house.
All right, welcome back to DMS 3000 News Live. I'm Jason DeCanio. Once again, it is episode 47 on this Tuesday, August 22nd, 2023. Well, we're on our way here, continuing our essay on leadership. One thing that somebody was mentioning here, Emo says, I think when I did this, there was post-nasal tripping that my throat was dealing with when I was talking. And that's probably why I had to pause at some point. You know, very good as far as that's concerned. Yeah, you got to remember something. When you wake up first thing in the morning, unless you don't have a drink, you know, or water, you're going to have some issues with the nasal passages. And that will, of course, make you sound like something else. I know I sometimes sound like, that sounds like something else when I talk. So, yeah, it comes down to just having the right stuff around you and giving yourself plenty of space to look at that. In fact, you know, that'd be a great topic for next week. You know, if you have a topic that you'd like to bring up to us next time on the program, whether it be Brandon Martin hosting, or even if it's Brandon Bogart, or even David St. Dennis for that matter, or for myself, whatever the case, we'd love to hear from you as far as that's concerned. So drop us a line at the David 3000 Network's instant message line with topics and great stuff that you would like to have us do or explain or report. Okay? Whatever the case, we'd love to hear from you. All right. So we look now back at the essay on leadership, because in about 15 minutes, our wonderful CEO, Super David St. Dennis, will be with us very shortly to talk about the state of the David 3000 Network. I think this would be a very good opportunity for him to give us the State of the Union address as far as he's concerned. Here are some examples of good leadership. These are people who pretty much became some fantastic leaders in their time. Starting with Mahatma Gandhi. also known as the father of the nation, was a great example of a leader. He believed in nonviolence and was a strong advocate of peace. He was a brilliant leader and played a very crucial role in helping India win its independence back. This was probably the most extraordinary struggle for independence, and he was able to achieve freedom without violence. Abraham Lincoln was another prominent leader. He was the most notable for ending slavery in the United States, and as a result, he made himself many enemies. He was, however, a man of immense self-confidence. His fight against slavery was an inspiration. Sir Winston Churchill was an Englishman of great patriotic spirit. He was also the leader of Britain during the Second World War, and he continues to inspire people across the globe. He was a great asset to Britain and fought against Nazi Germany. In a time of despair, his great communication motivated the whole country. Mother Teresa was born Agnes Bojaxhiu in 1910. Her unwavering dedication to helping vulnerable groups has earned her a place on the list of the world's greatest leaders. She led a community that worked tirelessly to open orphanages, clinics, and other services around the globe, including in India. Her efforts to end poverty earned her a Nobel Prize. And Alexander the Great, also known as the man who conquered the world, is widely considered to be the greatest military leader ever. His leadership style and great presence of mind, victories, and vision are still being celebrated in the history books. He was born in 356 BC. By the time he was 33, he had ruled the largest empire in history, stretching from Greece to Egypt to India. And he was the king and commander of Macedonia. He was able to unify many Greek city-states. He was unbeaten in combat until he died from malaria in 323 BC. So in conclusion, leadership is essential in almost every area of life. Good leadership is the key to success. Lousy leadership, on the other hand, is a guarantee of failure. Good leaders make the world turn. The world has seen some exemplary leaders who are remembered to date, and hopefully such iconic personalities will continue to be born in every area. And there you have it, friends. An essay on leadership from jovatpoint.com on the leadership essay. And you can find fantastic essays on all types of topics on this website. And we'll look at some more of great stuffs later on as we continue our program here on DMS 3000 News Live throughout the week. Should be fun. Time now is 8:49, and I think it's time to bring on the CEO of our company. I think he's been hanging backstage long enough. We'll get him on here right now. Where are you, my friend? Come back here and get yourself to the stream here, and let's let's talk, because we've got a lot to talk about here. Where are you? Where are you? You're on, bro. Okay. Well, that's his symbol. I don't know if coming
I'm here.
All right.
I didn't know. I thought we were starting in 10 minutes.
10 minutes is going to be, it'll be fast 10 minutes before we get to the 9 o'clock hour. So might as well start talking right now. There he is, Super Dave, CEO of the David 3000 Network. Good morning, sir.
Same to you, Jason.
Yes. And what are you doing playing around with my commercials here and everything, you know? But
well, you asked for it and you got it.
I know. Asking you shall receive, and get it all up on the way there.
Yep.
Hey, you know what we forgot to put? We forgot to put the ticker. Oh my goodness. Look at me. I'm getting easy in my days today. There we go. Yep. That would help. You know, we had as many as 5 people watching the show right now. What happened to those 5 people? Did they get bored or something?
I mean, people work, so I'm surprised Emo's here, because I thought he'll be working at this time, but
Yeah. And Game Show Fan 2001. Isn't that Danny?
yes.
Yeah, I thought so. And he he was here this morning too.
Yep.
But he said something about having a day off during the week, and I'm like, okay. But you
Yeah.
know, it is what it is.
Indeed.
So, since we've got you here, let's talk about the state of the David 3000 network. What is the future outlook? Because we're getting close to the fall right now, my friend. Launching that fall schedule, and we've had some pretty good, successful shows from past from some of our good buddies over the course of the last 3 weeks. So give us a state report. What's going on?
Well, for the David 3000 network, right now we are going to be watching this fall schedule Labor Day, on September 4th. And it's going to be a great run. We are still working on some things with Price is Right. We're still in the works for that, but it will be up then because thanks to Brian Scruggs, he gave me the idea to do duplicates of contestants so everybody has a chance to play. Because on the show, if you need at least 9 people for Price is Right, they may not have a chance to play because only like 6 contestants could get called all down, and the other contestants is basically there for nothing.
Yeah.
So that's why the idea of duplicates makes it easier for all of us, especially me, because when you're doing a show like that with like 10 people, it can be very hard to get them to a commitment to stay communicative on the call, because sometimes they can have problems hearing us or not cooperating, communicating with us, and sometimes have background noise in their area or just whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's a good way of looking at it, because The Price is Right, as we was talking last night, is one of the most difficult shows to kind of put together, especially when you have to try to get a committed group of people, 9, including yourself, plus the announcer. And that's a long thing to just even to do one show. You have to really, kind of come up with an idea and take that 4 or 5 days of stretch when you're not recording to come up with an outline of the show of how you want to do it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy. And,
no, that's why I told you yesterday that I don't want to take on a big project like that because I'm already overbooked. I feel like I've got so much going on right now, and I've got to do my own channels again. I have to go back to my channels starting in September as well. So my time on the David 3000 network, I'll be there, but I won't be available all the time because I still have to make new episodes of the Queens New Yorker and Retro Toys and Games, the Legacy on Sunday, and the Smooth Jazz program on Saturday. So in between all of that stuff, there's going to be times,
Yeah. If this was the summertime, yes, we're in the summer, but I mean, like, if this was earlier in the summer, it might have been a different situation. But then again, this is wrong timing on my end. But it's okay. I'll work around it.
Yeah, like you say, if we was coming off of the end of the fall schedule from last year, which we really didn't have much. We had a summer schedule going, which was like really helped us a lot to gain new subscribers and everything.
Oh, yes.
But we didn't have really a fall schedule that started last September either, because we had just started this whole thing in December. So really, this is our first full schedule of the fall.
Yes, and that's a schedule for it.
Yeah, that's going to be going on for 7 months. Now, it might be tweaked. Shows might be coming, be taken out. Something might be put in, especially with baseball season when you got the sports shows all transitioning from baseball now going into basketball and hockey starting in October. We're going to have a transition where there's going to be some open spots where the baseball shows were, and they don't necessarily have to be replaced with sports shows. And that's why it's important to keep an eye out for anything that we have open. And if we do have anything open, we will definitely have a live feed going on to see who will take those spots. I was really happy about that.
Absolutely. And right now on my David 3000 Fun and Games Discord server, we are taking a break as for taping wise for Blockbusters and Choco Swell until November.
That's right.
But we are tuning Tic Tac Toe until I don't know what day. What day, Jason?
We're doing a 13-week run of that, so that should put us. Well, we're taking next week off because everything stops basically next week. We at the network had decided we're going to take a week off because we all needed to kind of recharge our batteries. But we're going to have some important meetings with some important people that behind the scenes that were not scheduled. For anyone who showed up to the last 3 meetings, thank you so much for your support and your ideas. And hey, you got some prime real estate. Can't wait to work with those guys from the Plump Show. I would love to see, how those guys are gonna, how what's his name is gonna take that show and put
Emo.
Emo. I think he'll do fantastic with it. He'll have 2 separate shows in the half-hour block. So he's gonna have 10 shows. He's gonna have 2, 4, 6. He's gonna have 10 shows at 5 days a week, and already be ahead of everybody. Once Friday comes, Friday, September the 8th, he'll already have 10 shows already on block. So that's fantastic.
Yes. And he's still working on the show. And, if I were him, I would just get to, start working on the show this weekend or filming it wise. But
yeah, start filming the shows this week and next week, so that way we can put at least that first block of shows, those first 10 shows on the September 4th to the 8th, so that way we have it. That way you're already on the schedule, because the faster you get the programs, I mean, we're not saying rush, but if you're committed to this is the time for everybody next week to get your programs recorded for that first week that's going to launch September 4th. And like I said before, if you're part of this network, you're part of it for 7 months. It's just like a school year, September to June.
Yep. And for those who were at the meeting, it meant a lot for you guys to join the meetings, even though, we could get bored at times. I'll admit, including myself, I was kind of a little bit bored on last meeting because I just woke up from my nap. But but it was still. But the first meeting was fun, and some of the ones. But the fall schedule is not complete. It'll be complete August 29th, and there that day or somewhat. I will be announced. Me and Jason will be making an announcement video of that fall schedule before September, so that way everybody will be prepared.
Yeah, exactly. And as far as the DMS 3000 News Live show is concerned, it will not change. You'll still see somebody here at the podium, at the microphone, 5 days a week from 8 to 10. And Brian Snow and Cole Johnson will take that 10 to 12 p.m. slot. But the nice thing about it is we finally got a 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. slot filled in by Eric Lima. Eric Lima also takes the overnights for 5 hours with all of his back shows. So this is a real treat for those people who would love to see those back episodes when he was in the basement. You're going to get to see that all during the fall for the next at least 3 months, or however many programs he had, because he had a lot of programs the first couple channels. So that's going to fill a lot of time, especially the basement shenanigans. Hey, why not put it on the overnight and let it run? Let it run itself. That's the way it goes. What else? Now let's talk about the big thing that everybody is interested in is the 2-hour game show block. This is the meat and bones of our schedule here, and we've got it filled up. And we had, if you want to explain to the fans out there what happened last night during the recording, in between recordings, something really good happened. So why don't you go ahead and give us the great news about that?
All right. I will only mention these 2 shows because I don't want to get any more into spoilers. But MPG Productions will be airing his 2 MPG classics of Sell the Century and Second Chance. Those 2 shows will be up in the fall schedule in the afternoon.
Yep, at 12:30 on what was it, Tuesday and Wednesday. Yep. So the 12:30 spot's going to be a very exemplary prime real estate for that game show block. I can't wait to see some of the great work from his from Sale of the Century and Second Chance. You know, this gives us an opportunity for those who've never even seen Brandon Scruggs' other work. You've already started seeing some of it already from the 2017 and 2016 shows of Tic-Tac-Toe and Joker's Wild, but now you're going to get to see season 1 of me hosting Joker's Wild from September 4th. And here I go giving away a spoiler, but I don't care. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
We had a fantastic recording yesterday. I'm not going to give anything away, but I'll tell you what, the games went on very long last night. But what a way to end on the finale of Blockbusters and, you know, not so much on Joker's Wild, but the finale of Blockbusters was just wow. And then with Tic-Tac-Toe, I mean, you know, Brandon sent you like 3 20-minute segments that he's piecing together. He can only record for 20 minutes at a time.
Oh,
Have to go before he has to reset his recordings and everything. So,
yeah, because
it was basically he had to, you know, he says, "Oh, this is I gotta reset the timer and go back to 0 because now we're at the 20-minute mark again." I'm like, holy
so
cow.
23 times 3 is what?
20 times 3 is 60, so that's almost an
All
hour.
right. Well, hopefully it won't bother or Gampa too much because that's right after that. So.
Well, you know, yeah, I could honestly tell you that, like I said, it was just a long front game, and the bonus round was over and done with like in 5-10 minutes, and we even had time for Dragon Finder game yesterday, which I thought was fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now, coming up September 1st, I'll be bringing back 10,000 Hano since I haven't done one since past June. So get ready for more great interviews, which I won't spoil anything of who is going to be on that one. Jason knows who I'm talking about, but I'm not going to spoil on here because it'll be a surprise. Some of my mutual friends know it, but I'm not going to explain who's going to be on that one because it's going to be a great episode. Who knows, maybe for this time only. For the return episode, I might have a 3 hour show for the first time. But then again, it depends because I want to make it a special return, you know. So, so still trying to work on the format just to study a little bit, but I think I'm good from where I am right now. Just trying to get. I already made the new logo. I'm seeing if Cole can make a new intro, and all that good stuff. So once that's done, I'll be all set for September 1st. And most of these interviews, by the way, will be taped because, you know, I don't, especially for one example, you know, I just don't want to have any technical difficulties on air. So, but we'll be having these taped and we'll be go from there. I'm really looking forward to bringing this up back because I've been doing this show since April 2021.
Yeah. Well, and then it's about time due for new episodes as well. You know, refresh it and get it going. And luckily, you have enough back episodes to promote what you've already done and target a different audience. That's the important thing that we've always said to everybody is like you said, if you have back episodes of programs that you've done over the course, not, I wouldn't say 10 years, but maybe 5 years, the maximum would be something like from 2018 or a little bit later than that. Something that was still on your channel and you have it in a playlist, you have 13, 14, or 15 episodes of it enough for a season. Let us get it, and we'll definitely put it up there for you and part of our schedule, so that way you're targeting a different audience. Because like I said to everybody, there's some great talent out there. There's some great content creators. I can't wait to see all your back stuff and the new stuff that you guys are going to be working on in the future of working with David and myself. One of the things that we really need to address here on the program is that we're looking for a research team. And I'm going to throw this out to you because I know this is something we've talked about behind the scenes. We've talked
I already have a certain someone when he has the time to work into my Channel 1000 handouts, just a research for that. So my friend's going to be looking into that.
Very good, because it'd be nice to see if we could get somebody with statistics on how many views each program has gotten over the course of just the 13-week run of that one season. I mentioned it last night on our finale that the season one of Blockbusters got over 811 views plus. That means people are still watching it, but the minimum amount that I was able to add up was 811. So it's on its way. Just season one was going on its way to 1,000 views, and should make it before sooner or later. Now, what season 2 does, hopefully we'll be able to top that.
Yeah.
Because Blockbusters, but the nice thing about it is with Blockbusters is that I'm going to carry it over regardless of how many people see it or not. It's a show that I'm going to take as far as we can go with it. And we're already going to do season 3. We've already got season 3 ready to go in November. Brandon Scruggs and myself will be at the helm. And it's nice working with Brandon Scruggs. It really is. Very great. He's a very talented guy. Very, very flexible in his scheduling, despite him working overnights. But, he's got a lot of great stuff. And, we was also talking, you and me, about 2 new programs that we would like to implement game show-wise. And that is Pitfall and Wordplay. Something that we're working on. We found a great site, thanks to Brandon Scruggs, where we can buy the programming and set it up just like Scruggs does on our recordings on Mondays. So if David wants to record or do it from his desktop, and I'll host it, or vice versa, because his computer probably would be better than mine, because mine keeps lagging, keeps crashing. But his, on the other hand, he's got a desktop and a laptop, and he can do a lot of things with it. And
how many contestants are those for those 2 shows?
Well, let's see. With the Wordplay, you have 3 celebrities and 2 contestants. And then on Pitfall, you have 2 contestants and the audience, or in this case, if we did like the audience polls, or percentage polls of stuff like that, we could do it, because it goes basically from the audience, what the audience voted on, for Pitfall.
I think that's just for the audience. I think that's just part of the game. Like for Millionaire, for example, I think that's just automatic. But that's just me.
But that's just all based on opinionated polls from the audience. That's where the questions came from. So if we just did like a polling where it was, take the top answer from each poll of a question and then throw 3 dummy choices in there.
Yeah,
it might work.
Yeah. Well, as for those 2 shows, I'll see what I could do for that. I mean, because I still need to, work on my Price is Right, Price of Luck, Finish Gambit.
Yeah.
Those shows, I need to focus on finishing those first. Smith Million as well. Go. I just need to finish on those first before we do those. So, but this fall schedule is going to be fun for everybody to enjoy here, and it's going to be good.
And I think we might have to have a big surprise on September 4th's DMS 3000 News Live. We may be talking about that later on in the behind the scenes. But I think that launch of that program, when it comes up on September 4th, not only is going to be a big day for our launching, but we'll also probably hopefully have a lot of special guests on. I'd like to get Brandon Martin on, and you and Brandon Bodengard, and get everybody here have a little reunion party for launching our first show of the fall season. I'd like to have that happen where 4 of us are on the program, because we're all part of the DMS 3000 News Live, in this case. And I think the way to launch off the fall season would be fantastic. We've got already 47 episodes. We're going to break 50 in the next couple of days, and it's fantastic with the tremendous support we've been getting from everybody as far as views, and the feedback is fantastic. And again, as I mentioned before, before you came on, if you've got a topic that you would find interesting and want us to cover, let us know, because sometimes getting material for each program is very difficult, especially when you're trying to get it in the night before. And then you have to kind of scratch out some stuff because, a special guest is coming in. So.
Yeah. And also, by the way, as for the schedule, this David Dallas Network channel, if anybody wants to back up their videos on here, it's not going to be for everybody, because I may look at your as the owner. If I look on your channel and I'll be like, man, this channel doesn't fit the network. It doesn't fit the vibe. So it won't work for everybody that has content, because plus we gotta have safe room for others as well. So
yeah.
So
if you got an idea that you've been scrapping around with and everything, and bring it to us, and we'll look at it, and we'll see if it'll work. If it doesn't, then keep trying, because you might get something else that might spark it.
Yeah.
But you won't know unless you try, because we're very open to any ideas. But we do have we're trying to stay within a schedule that will fit the particular time slot that we and with the time slots being the way they are, I think it was suggested by Brandon Scruggs that you try to put in shows that fit a specific theme. If you've got a 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock hour, like we have, from 2:30 to 6 p.m., we have all those talk shows. Well, that's great. That kind of brings it in. And the Plump Show, of course, that's going to be prime real estate. And thanks to Brandon Bogart, he's, oh no, it's Emu. I'm sorry. Emu.
No, it's the same name.
I'm going by screen names and everything, but he knows who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And, he got the prime real estate. He got the prime real estate when he took the opportunity. He was a little hesitant, but we kind of convinced him that this was the way to go, because he says, well, I don't want to do an hour show, but I've got 4, and I said, but you could rotate those on a daily basis. You got 2 half-hour blocks each day. So why not just do those in rotation? You'll come up with something different for each show, yes, but you'll use that format that you have on, the first 4 shows are going to be that, already you'll have that. And by the time you get to the 5th show, you'll already be back to the first format and just repeat, but use different things, of course. But that's the easiest way to look at it, to make it, just to make those episodes flow. So that way you have, variety, and you don't have the same repetitiveness. Yep.
Yeah. But what are you most excited about as for the schedule?
Looking at the schedule myself, I see some of my programs from my channels are coming back, as far as the repeats from the back episodes. They got their own time slots, which is great. But like I said, you'll still see the new stuff on my channels, and of course Anchor and Spotify. So please continue to go to those channels to see the new material that's coming up in September. But also go back to the David 3000 Network and look at the back episodes, look at the repeats, look at the stuff in the archives, follow along with the program if you're interested, because there's some great episodes out there from Jay's Retro Toys and Games, The Legends of Smooth Jazz, and The Legacy of New York that all tie in to coming into the new seasons. And it's going to be a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, kind of a new year for all my programs, because like I say, Queens New Yorker is going on season number 9 seasons already, and 235th episode starts it up this Tuesday. That Tuesday on September 5th should be a fun show.
Yeah,
and we're going to take it right back to the beginning and go through all the neighborhoods all over again. We're going to go back to square one, because things have changed over the last 9 years. Populations senses, they all change, and there's new things being added into the groups in the neighborhoods. So if you feel like I'm repeating myself, it's because we have not done the neighborhoods in over 9 years. We haven't done it since the times that we come back out from all of the other stuff that we've covered. And we're gonna, like I said, we'll look at the buses, we'll look at the trains again, we'll look at the MTA, we'll look at green bus lines, we'll look at the histories of stuff that we covered back in there, but we'll take it on a new twist with different things. So it's gonna be fresh, new, and it's gonna look great, and it's gonna be on Anchor only. The Queens New Yorker is on Anchor only, but with David's help, we'll put those repeats of the earlier shows on. So that way you get to still see those back episodes in the order that I have them, because I was missing a lot. I was missing a lot of episodes, but I should be back on track for that. So, yep.
What was I say?
I think is going to be the most exciting thing for you as far as the fall schedule. I'll throw that question back to you.
As for me, I think it's just, I'm happy of how, big the schedule's grown. The summer, it was just kind of blank a little bit, and we finally got a lot of new stuff on here. Like, we just need to work on the weekends a little bit more, but I think it's good. I think it's good as it is right now.
Yeah, and you're right about that. That's especially true. There's a lot of prime real estate on the weekends, folks. So, those two meetings that we were supposed to have, one tonight, one next week, with the people that were supposed to come, those spots on the weekends are still open for programs. So, like I said, if you have a weekend show or something of that sort where you'd like to do it on the weekends, because that's the time you might have from your job or from just, part of your social life is on the weekends, when you've got a lot of things you want to take care of, this might be your opportunity to have that weekend spot. The one thing I can guarantee is that once you lock that spot up, it's yours. It's your baby, treat it like your kid brother, your son, your daughter, because you are responsible for it. And coming back to everybody in there, and checking up on everybody, because this is the way we got to do it. And like I said, if something comes up where, that it's impossible to get the next episodes up there, we'll definitely have to kind of talk about that the week before. So don't wait, folks, if you're having problems getting your show recorded for the following week, come to us before and say, hey, look, I'm having an issue or something and needs to be discussed. And we will look and see what we need to do to either take the show out and replace it with something else until you can come back, or something of the sort. But let us know ahead of time, so that way we have enough time before the following week. Because what's going to happen is when you're recording, you're basically recording for the weeks ahead. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you start recording next week on the 28th of August, which is next Monday, and you start your shows, those weeks of shows are going up on the following week on September 4th, which is the launch of the fall schedule. So really, you're not recording for the shows that you're recording for the following week, basically. Okay.
Yeah.
You're recording a week ahead. That's usually how it works. And those who are recording on like Monday nights, like we do with the game show blocks and everything, where we can put it up on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, or Friday, where it only takes a few days to get it in there. That's the designated day we're going to be recording, is mostly on Mondays. So if you're part of a game show and you're a contestant, keep your Mondays open if you can, because that's where our recordings will be. Unless you've got something going down, like Funny You Should Ask. And speaking of Funny As You Should Ask, Danny Lewis is hosting that show. How many programs does he have already recorded and ready to go on the fall schedule?
I believe 3 right now.
Okay, so he's got 3 weeks of programming ready.
Yeah, and it's 3 more that needs to be filmed. So yeah.
So he's going to do a total of 6, and that's about it. So he's doing 6 weeks of programs, and I guess
bi-weekly.
He's doing it every 2 weeks. Okay. Well, that's fine. I mean, it's still
with repeats in between.
Not a bad idea. Keeps it fresh, keeps it looking good, keeps the momentum going on that particular program. That 7:00 spot, by the way, is on Mondays, is his prime spot. It's the only other game show that I know that's not in the game show block.
There's Spend for Million, but that's on Saturdays. But then again, I think that's only for the summer. And what else is there? Same for Playing with Soda, but that's going to be only in the summer. So,
yeah.
Deal or No Deal is going to be in the 7 p.m. stuff for Wednesday once I get that done. So,
yeah.
And by the way, the reason why I'm on to do this today, as for Jason interviewing me, because I bet one day Jason will ask me to interview me for the schedule or something in that sort. So I thought before the fall, I think it's best to do it today. So that's mandatory. So,
yeah, I knew that the interview was going to be coming up pretty soon, and I think what will definitely happen is that on September 4th, a big surprise will come to our viewers right here. So keep your calendars open for DMS 3000 News Live. The big surprise will be there. We're not saying what it's going to be, but I think you might get a little bit of an idea of where we're going with this episode that's coming up the week before September 11th. Yeah. I've got, like I said, I've got two big shows. I got 4 big shows coming up in September. We've got the launch of the fall schedule. Then on September 5th, we've got more good stuff coming up. And then the following week, I've got the September 11th show, which is Patriot Day. So I've got to talk about, but see, and here's the thing. This is going to be an interesting thing. Yes, we need to honor those who were lost in the September 11th towers coming down. However, how many news reports, how many news channels are actually going to cover the 50th anniversary of the towers being built? We'll see how many actually talk about that. But we're definitely going to be talking about the history of the World Trade Center come September 11th, not just the tragedy, because we're going to be talking about it's the 50th anniversary of the building of the Trade Center itself, the Twin Towers.
That's crazy.
I'm telling you, it was built in 1973. Maybe not around the time of September, but probably like early January. But it still marks 50 years of the year that the towers were being built, the Twin Towers, that is. So in this case, I'm going to be very interested to see how many news stations actually say anything about the 50th anniversary of the towers being built.
Yeah,
I'm going to check on each of the networks, and then the next day on the 12th, I'm going to come back and give my results and let you know in a poll. Or we'll see about that. So I'm going to be very busy on the 11th, tagging these news channels to see how many of them actually do talk about the building of the Twin Towers, not so much the collapse.
Oh, yeah. And also for the fall, too, even though, me going back to school is not exactly what I want, but then again, what I'm mostly looking forward to is, sports season, because you got basketball, hockey, football. I mean, that's a big time, the best time of year to be a sports fan. And also baseball playoffs, MLS playoffs, I think. And it's a big time to be a big sports fan, as I am. And this is going to be a whole lot of fun, that's just around the corner. And same with what we have going on this fall as well.
Yeah. Exactly, because the changeover is going to be fantastic. I can't wait for hockey season this year, and as much of an avid baseball fan as I am and still am, I can't wait for the hockey and basketball, because this is one of those years that I'm actually looking forward to it. I've always said, man, it's like, but with football, with me, it's like I just don't have time to sit there on Sunday and watch it because I'm doing other things that have to get done. So, I still work on Sunday mornings from 7 to 3. And then at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm home and still doing other stuff. So my day does not I can just sit down, chill, and watch a 4 o'clock football game. Unless it depends on who's playing, but it really doesn't matter to me as far as who's playing in football. Now, of course, I'm going to be shot down by everybody who says, how can you not follow football? It's the greatest sport. Yeah, but it only happens 16, 17 weeks out of the year. Okay. Well, hockey is 100 and some odd games. Basketball's 82 games, and it goes on the weeks. Hockey, basketball is wussy. It's wussy sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's more violence in hockey than there is in football, especially the guy popping the elbow right in the old kick in the Adam's apple while he's skating down 10 miles an hour on a pair of ice skates. He comes back and he gets an elbow right in the Adam's apple.
Yep.
Okay.
And speaking of Apple, New York's football team, as you said, Buffalo is the real New York team.
It's what I've said for the longest time, and if you do the research on that, folks, yes. Now, one of the things that we have not discussed, David, is that some implementational rules are going to be put in for the new season. These rules are not to be looked upon as like a school, the teacher implementing the students with rules. But one of the things that we have noticed over the course of either recording game shows or just in general is the sound, is the microphones and everything. What is one of the things that we've come up with to correct that problem?
Well, no.
I thought you turned your microphone.
No.
Here I am. I asked a question about sound, and he's like,
"Oh."
Sorry about that. I just had to laugh because I'm thinking your mouth moved, but nothing came out.
No, it's just on another tab. So,
okay.
But yeah, this is basically what the rule is, because we want to hear you good and don't want to have any audio issues.
Yeah, that's for sure. One of the things I think Brandon Martin was implementing was, especially on Super Password, when giving clues or receiving clues, is to make sure that if you don't have a good microphone, get one. I mean, even if you have to invest in a stick, a mic on a stand, do it, because that way you can hear everybody, and it's not going to kick out and not skip a word or anything. So this might be a good time to invest in some. I'm going to invest in some new headphones, and I have the mic and everything, but I have my mixer ready to go. We're all set. I mean, if you have a good mixer, a mic, and headphones, and your computer screens and a webcam, you can do a podcast. And whatever you decide to do on that podcast, that's up to you. These are the simple. I can't make it any simpler than that. Yeah, you're gonna have to invest some money on some things, but if you're gonna do this the right way, do it, and do it perfectly, because that makes all the difference in the way you present yourself on your channel and on anybody else's channel, for that matter, if you're doing an interview show.
What else you want to ask me, Jason?
Another thing I want to ask you is that we've got the Hockey Puckers coming up. Yes, on Monday nights at 10 o'clock to midnight. Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic hockey show. And I heard that we have a third person coming in to help us.
Yes, his name is Kristen. I believe, I don't know exactly where he's from, but he has a YouTube channel called let me actually try to find it, the Anarthus Gunshot, something like that. So yeah, he's gonna be helping the football, and I think hockey too. I just need to get his availabilities in check because I know he's available for football for sure. I just need to make sure that for hockey he's 100% available, so that way it'll all work out. And for Monday nights, for doing the program, it actually works out better because once the game show tapings are done, me and Chase can just come on here and it'll be the only bad thing is football will still be going on for ESPN Monday night, but then again, but
yeah,
but that's basically it.
That's one thing I'm glad that we're going to be getting a third person into the mix for the hockey puckers. But I'm just trying to figure out now. Here's something I'm going to propose to all of our listeners out there. If you know, or if you yourself can have that expertise, if you have an expertise in making video cuts for openings and intros and outros, like what we have shown you at the beginning of the program here with the DMS3, and you can put that together into an editing set. We would love to have you on the staff because then you can make most of the openings, the intros, and the outros for all of the shows or some of the shows that we might ask you. If you have that knowledge or that expertise, or you know somebody who has another channel that has that knowledge and expertise, please let us know who they are or if yourself, and we'll work with you and give you a job here at the David 3000 Network. It's not going to be a paying job right away because we're not monetized yet. But speaking of monetization, that's another thing I wanted to ask you. When will be the day that David 3000 Network finally gets monetized? Can you give us a timeline or a future date when that's going to happen?
I can't say that right now because, I'm focusing on other important priorities in my life, and I'm just not 100% sure right now because I'm not sure how exactly my channel will allow it because, I tried it before. I'm not an expert to this. So,
right.
If it doesn't happen, that's okay. We're doing this for fun anyway. And plus, with the YouTube ads, it's only like a penny or cents that you get from the videos. So, if we don't get monetized, that's okay. It's not my main priority anyway, but for right now, no timeline.
Okay. So yeah, everyone. Okay, but that's all right because, like I said, the important thing is that we got over 1,000 subscribers. The watch hours have been always there, and the views are going to continue to go up because everybody is still actively engaging in the channel. So as far as the strength of the channel is concerned, I don't think you have anything to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
It's
a great thing that people watch it. The network, and I know the views are not that great, but at least people have supported the network channel with the 1,000 subscribers. It means a lot to me because without the subscribers, it wouldn't made this far. So without you guys, this network wouldn't be here today. So just I've been on here since June 20th, 2019, and I just want to thank all of you once again. So, but what I'm mostly looking forward to going to the fall, not only with getting back to the game show tapings, the sports, but more interviews are going to be coming on the way because I think I've got a pretty good idea of who I want to be on the future episodes of Jared Dallas Hanos. And like I said, I'm still working on the format, but I am looking forward to getting this show back starting September 1st, 2023, a week from this Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah. And then one of the things we really need to have on the interview-wise on the program is Brian Snow and Cole Johnson. Those guys come on and not only promote their show, but talk about, they got a fantastic story of how it all started for them. And
I interviewed Snowman earlier this year.
Yeah. But Snowman has not come on DMS 3000 News Live yet. And I would like I said, Snowman and Cole.
Well,
guys,
have them on for September 4th. If anything.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pop the question to these guys when we go on in about another hour and a half. And we will be there, folks, to not only talk about baseball, but to promote our channels as well. We have an opportunity to not only promote the 3000 Network on Snowman's show, but like I said, David promotes his stuff, and I promote my stuff. And it goes around. What goes around comes around, folks. And that's the thing. We all subscribe to each other, whether it's my 3 channels or the David 3000 Network or Brian Snowman show. And speaking of Snowman and Cole and those guys, they're over like 635 subscribers. They're trying to get to 1,000 as well. Subscribe to their show. Brandon Martin's channel, J-Man's Legit, Jody Scow and those guys, Tom Willis and Cypress TV. Subscribe to them. Whatever you can do to make their channel be more part of the family of networks that we're looking at here. It all ties into a fantastic show, and that's what you're looking for, is different channels coming together on one network with variety programs for everybody. That's what we're looking for. We're looking to become a super network. And, I tell you what, if we needed to name ourselves the David 3000 Super Network, like David has on here with Super Dave.
No. No, that's not going to happen. No.
With all the things running out of it, we may need to call ourselves David 3500 then.
No.
More to the list,
Oh, shoot.
Well, there's a lot of suggestional possibilities to this whole realm, but and like I said, it's looking fantastic. Everything is falling into place the way it needs to be, and I was really skeptical at the beginning of the month when I thought these meetings were not going to be really beneficial, and then when I saw everybody coming out and just saying, yeah, I'll give you a program here, or I'll give you a block there, or It was hard to convince everybody, I think, to kind of like commit. But I think in the end, when you're working on your show and you don't have to, once again, folks, you don't have to sacrifice your main channel or channels that you have because you're, becoming affiliated with the David 3000 Network. That never was the goal. The goal was to get your back episodes, whatever you worked on prior to, if you had a channel for 10 years or so, and you've got these seasons or playlists, we want those playlists. We want to see your back. We want to see when the first show of your channel came on long time ago. We want to see the timeline. It'd be great to repeat those shows because it gives people a great perspective of where you come from, where you came from. How did you get from point A to point Q or point Z? And then from that we can understand the timeline. Now I know some people have shows that are very personal to them and it talks about their lives, and I know that sometimes people don't want to repeat the same things that they talked about that hit them personally. I understand that. And those are the kind of shows that might be a little controversial. But if you are the kind of person that wants to, open yourself up to that kind of exposure, then more power to you, because then it shows everybody, hey, you got nothing to hide. This is who I am. This is what I've been doing for the last 20 years. And this is how I got to be where I came, So it's like a historical thing more than just a show that talks about your life. It talks about the history of where you came from in a way.
Yeah.
So why don't we go ahead and take a break first? And have anything for the editorial?
No, I don't have anything.
His brain is so logged that he doesn't have anything for the editorial. Well,
no. I was gonna do one about something yesterday, but it's too late. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll see what we can get up there. The editorial.
We'll just continue the interview.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about that. But let's go ahead and take a break because it's coming up to the halfway part of the final 15 minutes of the show here, and we need to take a break and get the sponsors in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that short 1:38 break with all the game shows that our wonderful CEO made just a little while ago, talking about, a minute 38 in like 2 seconds. And we'll be right back with more with our CEO right after this.
Hi, I'm Dennis Eckersley, and it's time to play What the X. I'm asking real Bostonians to try and explain the meaning of my baseball phrases. Now, here we go. What does easy cheese mean?
When a pitcher forgets to put his socks on.
Easy money.
Oh, easy cheese is the extra topping you put on a Fenway Frank.
Nachos? I don't know. Where's Boston's best place for great tickets at the lowest price?
That one's easy. That's Ace Ticket.
Ace Ticket.
Ace Ticket. It's a beautiful thing.
This is Brad. He's using Roadrunner high-speed online to play along with Game Show Network's lingo on GSN.com. He got it for just $34.95 a month for 6 months. Brad hasn't left his room since. When Brad signed up for Roadrunner, he was entered to win a 51-inch Sony high-def TV. And they're trying to deliver it now.
Hey, Brad, open the door.
Sign up for Roadrunner today. You'll save money and have a chance to win one of these great Sony prizes from Game Show Network.
You've seen the shows, now feel the music. Introducing the classic TV game show theme CD. 20 theme songs. 50 years of game show history. One compilation that's guaranteed to make your collection a grand prize winner. The classic TV game show theme CD. Now available at Sam Goody and Musicland. Pick one up today and keep the game show vibe alive.
All right, welcome back to DMS 3000 News Live. It's episode 47 here on this August 22nd, 2023. We're back with our interview with CEO Super Dave, David St. Dennis of the David 3000 Network, and of course my boss as well too, your boss as well. And one of the most important things I wanted to tell you is turn your mic on first. Yeah.
No, there's background noise, so I'm just I'm not talking.
Okay, because I wanted
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard me or not. So what I wanted
I
to
heard
say,
you.
it's an honor and privilege to be working with you these last 8 months. Because we're going to be, like I said, and even though we've had some difficulties and times and situations of sort, then that's going to happen. Not everything is going to go as smooth as silk here, but we find ways to compromise and still get things done. And I think with that, this guy's an easy guy to work with. You just tell him your situation. If you have a problem, he'll find a way to either get you out of the situation or find a way around it some way or another. So very approachable, and that's a good thing. Presti's yes, Brandon. And if Mr. Martin would like to come on for the last 15 minutes, he's more than welcome to. He can come on.
I'll send the link.
Oh, I thought he has access to the page. Well,
darn it. No. Well, I just thought it would be easier, but if he wants to come on,
yeah, because we still got 15 minutes left before we have to say adios for the day. And who's going to be on tomorrow? Is it going to be Brandon or is it going to be?
So right now, Brendan told me earlier that he potentially tomorrow, if he makes it back tonight or something, but if I don't know, but he is available for Thursday and Friday.
Okay. Well, for those, like I said, we will have a show tomorrow. Who's going to host it? The mystery host will be available tomorrow. It could be David himself, which would be great. Hey, you could put your Erin Perry interview on that you just had before.
I'm going to save that for 7,000.
Trying to hold back on it. I heard it was a fantastic interview with Miss Perry the second time around.
Oh, yes. It was way better than the last one. Way better.
What you guys use? Did you guys use the Zoom thing?
Yeah, we just Zoom. Yep.
Yeah. It just depends on her connection and everything, like
it's across.
Yeah.
across the country. So
Yeah, that's for sure. Exactly. So with that situation, but we still had a fantastic interview here with her, 2 weeks ago, and the views prove it. I mean, there's over 50 some odd views for that, even though she was kind of like having to come back in, go back out, come back in, go back out. It was still, if you look at the overall final episode, she might have said that our stuff froze up, but she was freezing up, but she had to come back in and out. And we just kind of just kept on going, and we didn't stop tape. Everything was live, and we didn't have to worry about cuts, in the press. And
yeah. But with that experience, that's why I just want to do interviews taped, because I want people to have a good interview, not a bad one.
Yeah, that's exactly true. And I was just going to ask you the question: what do you prefer to do, a live interview or a taped interview? And that was going to be the next question.
For one, it really depends on the person, because it's about the interaction. And but for me, it's back then it was live because of the certain people I had on this program to interview.
Yeah.
But honestly, nowadays, I just wanted to tape because thanks to StreamYard now, back then I think they didn't have this feature, but they have as you see below, they have the percent. I could just click on that, hit the video file button, and just play the video, because way back, back then, I don't know when exactly they came up with this feature, but what I had to do was, if I was going to do an interview tape, I just have to go on YouTube, have the video unlisted, and just basically share screen it. But with this feature, which I don't know how long exactly it's been here for, but this is, doing this interviews taped is more easier, because, I don't want any difficulties to happen. And plus, schedule-wise is another thing too, and I don't want to waste viewers' time.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors that you were mentioning right there. Yeah, and I totally agree with you on that. It just depends on your connection, your scheduling, and who you're really talking to, and how good of a connection they have. And then if if something happens during the interview, you can pause, stop the tape, stop the recording, and then kind of make the edits you need to make it complete like nothing happened. So you have that power and freedom from a taped interview over a live interview. Live interviews are a little more dangerous territory. But like we have here right now, your computer's kind of, was freezing up a little bit, but that's because you're on a desktop on the other side. Yes. Mr. Martin says that I can agree with David. That depends on the person's availability to do it live or tape. It's like Rant and Rave podcast as an example. Very true, Mr. Martin. I must say that probably hits the nail right on the head perfectly. And speaking of Brandon Martin and Jody Scow and all those guys, they're going to have episode number 202 of Rant and Rave Thursday night at 8 o'clock. So be there or be square. Ever since they launched the 200th episode of the show, I think you could tell the difference between how many views they had of the 200th episode compared to the 201st episode. It was like back to its regular views. It was like 96 compared to 750.
Yeah.
But that's because they were on for 7 hours also, too. So a lot of things happened over the course of that 200th episode, I know when I hit 200 episodes on the Queens New Yorker, the confetti wasn't coming down for me, man. I was just like, I had some, reminiscent shows and everything, but nothing as big as what these guys have, because like you said, to get to 200 episodes on a weekly basis is very difficult, because that's only 52 weeks, 52 shows a year.
Yeah.
And like you said, it takes you at least 4 years to get to that 200th episode. Very
on
much
a weekly basis.
On a weekly basis, and if you're consistent too. Yes, I know for a fact that I don't think they've missed one episode, or they had to cancel it.
Well, I think they only missed one episode in 2020, or one or two in 2020.
Yeah, it's possible. But like I said, they could do that show with just one or two people. If somebody couldn't show up in the week, let's say Jordy wanted to take a week off, he could. And it would be Lima and Martin, or it would be Andrew Hocking,
Mhm.
or Alex Hull, or whoever else wants to come on the show. These guys can play around, you know, they can play around and have a great show with whoever's on there, even if they have a special guest that's never been on there or semi-frequent guest. The Rant and Rave program is very versatile.
Yeah, and Rant and Rave's been going on a long time, since 2019, and I'm proud to say that I was one of the main folks that helped it, because with my promotion back then, my entertainment humor back then, and I was co-hosting a podcast, when I was, I think, 16.
Yeah.
Back in 2020, it was around March when everything got shut down. They asked me to, co-host, and it was an honor for me to do that. And I was 16 at the time, so me co-hosting at 16 was pretty interesting, to say the least. But it's a great program. Great people on there. And even though two of the main co-hosts is absent right now.
Yeah.
But it's just the four of them. And of course, Tom Willis is the producer. I was actually the first producer, of the show. Back in 2021, I think I was the producer of that show for a little while. Same for 2022, but then mostly 2022, I think. I don't know, but I was the producer. This message. But then, unfortunately, but Tom, with him being back with Tasmania, is honestly a big help for them to have Tom as a producer. So.
Oh yeah, when you have an advantage like with Tom and his setup, his fantastic studio that we looked at when he was on the program last week, that's a fantastic way of getting a great person to produce your show and to help you out there. It's like you say, it's not what you know, it's who you know, and who is going to hook up with you and make your show take it to that next level. And there's a lot of people in our network that can take our channel to the next network and the next level. And we would like to in return return the favor to you as well. So I think with that, we can honestly say that if you connect yourself in some way with us, it's going to be for life. And we know that the family of channels that are affiliated with us can post whatever they want at any given time, give us some great information, some tragic information if it happens. Whatever the case is, we'd like to know what's going on with everybody's channel. And it's not because we're nosy, it's because we're truly inspired by what you've got to show us and what you would like to share with us. And if you're the kind of open person that likes to share things like that, then your transition to the David 3000 network is going to be very easy. If you're the kind of person that's hesitant, don't want to really show too much, we may have to butter you up a little bit, but I think in the end, you'll see that if everybody else is joining the bandwagon and it's legit, which it is, it has been since the day we launched the network for David, then
it's called the experience.
Yeah. And over the course of 8 months, the trust has really been the factor that's getting everybody on the bandwagon. And I think these next 7 months, which will make 15 months of my journey with the David 3000 network, is going to be an interesting tide to see how everybody works during the fall. Because, we got a lot of things coming up, a lot of holidays, a lot of family time. So it's going to be interesting to see how much time is going to be put toward each and everyone's channel. But I think in the end, when we have that final report card in June, like they do when they give you your final report card for the end of the school year, I think we're going to come out with at least an A+, if not more. You know.
Yeah.
And I think we need to grade ourselves on that. And I think, oh yes, also one other thing we forgot to tell you about that Tears live show is coming up in it's starting September 6th, right? On the Wednesday night. Yeah, I'll be me and David are going to be looking at specific situations where we're going to tier and grade stuff. And we might even have some special guests on if you'd like to be a part of that show and give your opinion about specific things as far as the tier. It's like, what is it? We Are Tears or something?
Wipe those tears.
Wipe those tears, yes. But it's a show where we grade specific things like the top 30, the 30 NBA logos or NHL logos, and we give a grade for that. So if you'd like to be part of the program, it's a weekly program. It's on Wednesday night. Wednesday what?
Wednesday nights at let me check the time here.
Yeah.
Wednesday nights at let me check. 9 p.m.
Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. and it's live, right?
Yep.
It's live. Okay. So I gotta remember that I got a show to do on Wednesday as well with other things as that. But do check that show. I'm gonna have fun with that. We're gonna have fun with that show. That'll be a really laid back show, relaxed, and we'll give you the topic for the head of the next week at the end of the program. On the end of each program, we'll give you the next topic for the next week so that you could prepare to come on and talk about the topic. It can range from 30 logos to food court restaurants to just companies in general. And, this is all a matter of based on opinion or experiences. And we're not trying to offend, but then again, a company that gets an F rating from us on this, don't come and sue us because it's just opinion.
Yeah.
We're going to put a disclaimer out there that if we do give you an F rating, it's not because of the fact that you're not a great company. You're a great company. It's just maybe an experience somebody had at a given time. We don't know.
Yeah. And also, even if you decline to be part of this new David 3000 Network, schedule, just note that we won't feel not appreciated because we already have a lot of shows anyway, so we won't feel bad about you declining because we want to save room for other folks that could potentially have a better show and also have more of availability time. So even if you decline, it's okay because it is what it is, and people are different. So
yeah, but I would like myself personally, I like the opportunity to work with some of you guys who are already great content creators, like Victor and the Popcorn Panel. I like to be on an episode depending on what movie you guys are talking about. I'm very picky on my movies, so I will just not come on any episode. I'll come on an episode where I know the movie from front to back and be able to give my opinion on it, because if I've seen the movie already, then chances are I can give my opinions and really go into it.
Let me check what the movie is next for.
Well, I don't think it's Superman or Batman because they haven't talked about those yet, or if they did, I wasn't there at the time. But while we're on that, we're gonna have to get going here and. I'm sorry.
Let me tell you the name instead of Private Jeffrey to read out loud. I should have put a banner, but it's okay.
Okay. Well, like I say, there will eventually be a time when a great movie will come on with the Popcorn Panel, and I will be.
This is next movie.
Never saw it. 310 to Yuma. No, never saw the movie.
All right.
After 2000 usually is when I mean, there's some movies I've seen in this new decade and the century, but everything else in past ones when I was a kid growing up. But again, thank you, David.
Yes.
CEO of our network. Thanks for coming on and giving us the state of the channel.
Yeah, indeed.
It's,
And thank you guys for watching. And this has been a great interview here. And thank you all for watching. And we'll see you in the next 23 hours or whatever Chip Perry said. I don't know, but anyway.
Yep. Don't forget to catch us on Brian Snow and Cole.
Oh yes, at 11 a.m.
And they're coming on right now, so we got to go. Bye bye.
Don't forget to subscribe to the David Thousand Network for great more content like this one.